Should Harv C, ever expect to see that C note? Will he ever see the C note?
That's rough, man.
Brotherhood. Brotherhood. We just brothers just talking. Brothers just talking about any and everything. Brothers just talking. Brothers just talking.
What's up? And welcome to another episode of Brothers Just Talking. Well, as usual, we got some spirited items for us to go over today. Let me introduce my esteemed panel, starting over here.
This is a funky one. How y'all doing?
This is E, a.k.a. Kimbo Ross, in the house.
Sebastian B. Blue, I'm here, fellas.
Well, you know what? We're back again, and we're kicking it just like we would at the barbershop. We're kicking it like we would on the golf course, and we're kicking it like we would in the gym. Champions at last. Champions at last. Thank God Almighty, the Knicks won at last. Let me tell y'all, New York been waiting 53 years for this thing. And after a while, it just looked like they was going to smoke the Spurs and just take them right on. So before we move any further, let's give all our New York folk out there listening, let's give them a hand. Let's give them a hand. Because the Knicks did what very few really thought they could do. Look, the Knicks, they came up with a lot of things in this particular series. One, the team was built with a lot of Philly DNA, and we're going to touch on that. But one of the first things we want to touch on, because all the brothers here talking got an opinion, and they got feelings on so many things dealing with this particular championship. I kind of want to get it started out. Where do you guys think Brunson ranks in the small guard pantheon of things? You know, we want to compare him with Isaiah. We want to compare him with Tiny. We want to compare him with Steph. Well, you know, or AI, can't leave out AI. Where do you guys, thinks he's ranked? I'm going to throw it out there to E, the man who felt the Spurs was going to sweep the Knicks. Okay, all right. So since he felt they was going to get swept, Brunson let him know it ain't going to be like that. So
He got 100 reasons why.
So talk to us about that. Talk to us about that, E.
All right, well, we're going to start right here. Congrats to all the Knicks fans on the victory. You guys deserve that victory. 53 years of not having a championship. That's a long time. Jesus, that's a long time. Is that thing in terms of his ability for him to bring that championship, he is still not ranked high enough with all the other pros out there, from your Isaiah Thomas, from your Magic Johnson, your Steph. The man he just got into his zone right now. So right now, we're just going to let him just stay where he is, because he's not really up there yet with the rest of them. Now, give us another chip. Give New York another chip, and then we can put your name out there. But right now, bro, you might be a one-hit wonder. You could be a one-hit wonder. So we're not going to give them props yet. We're going to let you work for that one. You right now, I would say, and maybe in New York, you might be high in New York in terms of the championship. And I think your championship is pretty high because of how long it's been since you guys won one. But in terms of overall point guards, athletes, in terms of the NBA grades, no, sir. He is not even close.
Well, listen, I'm not going to totally debate you, because I agree with you on some level of what you're saying, but I'm really only talking about the small ones. The funky one. Tell me what's up. How you feeling?
So if you're talking about comparison, I put Isaiah above him. But this is what Lawrence Taylor said. He said if you only go by championships and stats, he said that's being lazy. He said there's other things that you have to consider with that, because you look at this dude, he won a championship, so he definitely got one over Iverson. But would you consider him better than Iverson?
Nah, not yet.
You feel me?
Yeah. I wouldn't. Do you think Brunson could have took that raggedy behind Sixer squad to the championship?
I don't think so.
In 2001?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But you know what? His dad was a Sixer.
Yeah, for a minute. For a hot minute.
That's more of a Philly connection there.
Yup. So since we kind of talking about that kind of thing, you know, before I dive deeply into the Philly DNA that's in their team, where do you think this team ranks among New York Sports Championships. That's dealing with, and so if you're talking New York Sports Championships, I don't think this compares, say, so much with the Yankees. Yankees on another level. That's 27 championships they got, the Yankees. But when we talking about the Giants, we talking about the Jets, the Mets, and the Islanders, and the Rangers. I think this championship carries a lot of weight. What are you feeling when you think about that type of thing, the funky one?
To me, this is comparable to the Giants beating the Patriots in 2008 because nobody saw it coming. Nobody expected them to do as well as they did. I mean, I've counted them up. A lot of people just thought the Spurs were going to take it, which is understandable. They were
Right.
not the favorite. So I didn't expect the Giants. I rooted for the Giants in 2008 because I hate the Patriots. But that being said, no one expected them to beat the Patriots the way they did.
And I did the same thing. Too. I hated the Patriots. I wanted somebody to get them. And if it had to be somebody, I wanted somebody out the division. And the Giants tapped that booty twice. So
Yes.
that's huge. That's huge. Is this the greatest Knicks team of all time, E?
Hell no.
Which team would you consider better?
Okay, so what team?
I'm curious.
Okay, they only got 2 other championships, 70 and 73. Just tell me why you don't think this is the greatest team that they had all time.
I would say, I'm going to put it this way. I think it was more great coaching than anything else. I think because the right coach, if you have the wrong ingredients and you try to cook something nice and the ingredients you put in there ain't the right ingredients, guess what's going to happen? Your food ain't going to come out right. You had the right person putting the right ingredients, and he put the whole team together. He coached the team to the point where they was able to win. This Mike Brown won 4 chips with Golden State Warriors. He took a LeBron James 2006 Cleveland Cavaliers to the final to get beat by the Spurs, and he took Sacramento Kings, in which he became the coach of the year. So this man got skills. So
Yeah,
no
he
Mike
did.
Brown.
Yeah, he did.
Your New York Knicks ain't really no New York Knicks. So I'm going to give that to Mike Brown.
Well,
I'm gonna
I
know
think
another
that's being
thing,
a little
though?
cold-blooded. I think that's being a little cold-blooded, not giving the players credit because they actually the ones on the floor. I feel like Mike Brown did a great job too, though. I'm with you. Mike Brown, they were ready to fire the dude when they were down 2-1 to Atlanta really early in the playoffs, but he really rebounded. He put in that offense, that same offense they ran at Golden State, where he brought his center up to the high post. And look, man, the Knicks play some of the best ball I've seen anybody play over the last 10 years. Anybody. And
But you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
So the thing
Go ahead.
about the Spurs actually could have won that game, the one they lost when they came back, because there was just bad
Right.
coaching on their part. They very could have just ate that clock up.
Yeah.
They kept shooting those threes.
Yeah.
Even Charles
agree.
Barkley, everybody
Hold on,
said
that's
that was
not
the
true.
dumbest thing you got. Huh?
No,
Agreed.
you're right. That was the dumbest thing we ever seen. Look, let's put it out there. Fox played some of the worst basketball I've ever seen in my life from a point guard in a championship series. Okay? Fox ain't gonna be on that squad next year. If I'm the freaking owner, general manager, even that young coach, you're making $27 million a year. You gonna tell me you gonna lay out here like this? He looked like he was on the Knicks payroll, especially that last game. He shot 3 for 15, kept shooting, and I was wondering why the coach. Think about this, y'all. How come Mitch Johnson didn't go, look, I'm taking the ball out of your hands and I'm putting it in the rookie's hand? Because Harper was balling. And every game he had the lead. So I'm like this about the Spurs. I do think they're going to win some championships, but they're not going to, when they do win it, Fox ain't going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Fox ain't going to be here. And the Knicks won because of their championship DNA. And I know some of y'all might look at me and say, what? Championship DNA? Well, they had 3 dudes on their squad who came through Philadelphia and played at Villanova. And they all had championship DNA. Let's talk on that a little bit. How you think that helped their team? Yeah.
But before we go there, I want to touch on what Mika was saying about the best team. So the 73, they had Walt Frazier, who won the MVP.
Yes.
No, Willis Reed. Willis Reed won the MVP.
Willis Reed won the MVP for that.
And they had Walt Frazier and Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Yes.
I mean, those 3 Hall of Famers right there.
Now, listen, if we got youngins who checking into our show, and we do want you to come in, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Spotify, and definitely get on our Facebook conversation. We want the youngins in. Y'all might not know about Clyde Frazier. You might not know about the Pearl, okay? And you might not know about Willis Reed. But these are guys who are on top of the New York Pantheon as greats, and Brunson has joined these cats. No, I agree with you.
Absolutely.
I don't think I got to go with E. E, you right. This ain't the greatest Knick team of all time. They played some great ball, but this ain't the greatest Knick team of all time. And you didn't even mention DeBusschere and Bradley. They were on that team. Those guys are Hall of
Yeah.
Famers. And
Yeah,
then
they're
they
Hall
had
of
a
Famers
great
as well.
dude coming off the bench who ended up wanting to being one of the greatest coaches ever in the league, and that's Phil Jackson. So
Yep.
that team, 70 and 73, they were awesome. That first championship, the Pearl wasn't on, but they had another dude Dickie Barnett, who was awesome. So I don't think this team compares with them, but we talking about different eras, different times, and I think you got to give them their respect. This team, this Knick team, because for the time they're playing now, they show some true grit. And I want to move on and get into that DNA that they had. Mikal Bridges, he from Philly himself, okay? Josh Hart is from D.C., and Brunson was out in Chicago for most of his high school career, spent his last one in Jersey right across the bridge with his father. These three guys got together at Villanova under Jay Wright, and it's incredible what they've been able to transfer to the NBA. So my question to you, E, is this. Do you think these Nova Knicks are one of the best college to pro pipelines that you ever saw?
No.
Okay. Give me
Reason
some
why I
better
say
ones.
it's because one is that even though Villanova is it's a good college in which they had quite a few athletes that came out of Villanova and stuff like that. Villanova is located in Pennsylvania, and we can that could be an argument between Philly, Pennsylvania, whatever. But I kind of see where you're going with it. But let's look at it this way: Kyle Lowry also came from Villanova,
No doubt.
so he also won a chip with Toronto.
Sure did. Sure did.
One of the best players that's playing down with the Clippers. So are they the best? No, they're not the best. But I would say that a triple combination for all three to win that championship twice in Villanova is impressive, very impressive for them to win it in Villanova and then come to the New York Knicks and give them one after 53 years.
Just to keep things real and keep things on the factual side, Josh Hart was only part of the one championship. He was a senior when they beat North Carolina. But Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and DiVincenzo, who was on the Knicks before they traded him for Cat, they all were able to get two championships at Villanova. When I was speaking pipeline, I'm speaking more of guys coming straight from college and starting in the NBA. That's what I was looking at. So not so much talent coming in, because if we're looking at talent just coming in, we know the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas, the UCLAs, they've all been pumping it like that. But there's only one other team in the history of the NBA, fellas, who had three dudes from the same college starting on a championship team. The Knicks weren't the first. The first were the Lakers of George Mikan. And I can't even remember the other two dudes that was there, but they all went to DePaul. So keep something in mind. And I believe a lot of that championship DNA that they had, that they brought with them, that scrappiness, that toughness, they added that to the Knicks. Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, there are Knicks fans out there who think Cat is soft, but Cat was playing his behind off at least those first two games. And then, maybe Wemby caught up to him a little bit. The funky one, my man, Big Game. Did Philly let Mikal Bridges get away? What you think about that?
I don't know. I don't know if he would have fit into the current scheme, but definitely it would have been nice to keep him. They had an opportunity to get him. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had an opportunity to keep him, but they traded him, and I guess they made us pay for it by sweeping us.
No question. Well, look, it's time. That's enough about the Knicks. Because people who know me know I don't feel the Knicks like that, but I got major love, New York, and respect. That's what I got. Let's get our boy Blue in the conversation. Sebastian B. Blue, I want you to take over this next topic, throw it out to the fellas, and we're going to speak on that. So let's get you involved in here.
All right. So, brothers, let's talk about the state of I know we said particular, but I'm going to say men of color. You know what I'm saying? How y'all feel? Our current status And where do you think we've gotten to, at this point in time in 2026 compared to, and there's no comparison, but it's just, I'm just throw that out there. How y'all feel about that? And that's the topic that I'm going to, kind of elaborate on.
Okay.
I understand. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to understand the question exactly. So you want to know, like,
Can you a little bit on the question? Because I'm like the funky one, kind of like fuzzy on the question. I'm trying to see where.
But you be fuzzy anyway, E.
Oh, that's what I.
You be fuzzy anyway, but it's all good.
I ain't start cooking yet. As soon as he get that question together, then we're gonna start cooking. I ain't start cooking yet.
All right, go ahead.
So you're not clear on the ingredients. All right, so let me go over the ingredients again. So the topic that I'm gonna bring up basically is I think we've progressed in this day's society. Whether or not, and I'm gonna say progress, and if you feel as though we still got that, that setback. You know what I'm saying? I want to throw that out there just to get a feel for what y'all got to say, and then I'll elaborate on it.
So if you're talking progress, are you talking like progress as far as family structure, money, job, education? Like, what are your thoughts?
My thing is, I'm gonna kind of go off of what y'all feel. You know what I'm saying? So if it could be everything that you mentioned, and then if there's some other things, we'll elaborate on that too. So primarily, let's talk about financials. Let's talk about family. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about how all this stuff affects men of color, nowadays in society.
Okay, well, first of all, in dealing with this, I think for most men of color, I gotta break it down. And I know you said men of color, but I gotta break it down a little bit. If we count Asians as people of color, well, we know they're succeeding greatly as far as education. As far as Black men, I think we're doing better than we were 50 years ago, but I still think we got a long way to go. And it's things like the current president that we have in there now, and some of the policies they're creating that are, I don't want to say holding people back, because I don't like using that as a crutch. The man is holding me down, but it's obvious that society does not want to see our people as a whole come together. And so they're always putting things in there, in my opinion, that split us up. As far as family, they always want to put out the negativity about a lot of our homes of color, whether they're Puerto Rican, Spanish, or Black. And that's primarily who they be speaking about when they say the man is not in the home, but they don't highlight when the man is in the home. And there are plenty of men, especially with Father's Day coming up, I got to mention this. There are plenty of men in the home who are doing what they're supposed to do. And even the ones who may have suffered divorce or separation, they're still staying stuck to their children and staying there to raise them. And why I can say that is because I've lived that. I've actually lived that. Okay.
Right.
I've gone through a divorce, but I made a purpose, along with my first wife, made a purpose to put the emphasis on our children. And we were going to see them through. And they both graduated college. They both got college degrees, and they both are doing well in society right now. Now, mental health, I think mental health is affecting all of us. You touched on that. Man, the mental health thing, but it's not only people of color that are suffering with the mental health. I think as a society, we've just come to the understanding of how serious traumas and things that you experience are. Because there was a time, especially in our community, in the Black community, it's taboo to talk about going to the doctor for therapy. You're a sucker. You're a blimp. You're a PY if you were doing that. But now we understand the stronger man is the one who's doing that type of thing. So we've made advances as far as that. We still got a long way to go. And this is another situation where I'm living it out. For the greatness that my son showed in obtaining 2 degrees, he suffers from bipolar disease. And let me tell y'all, that is nothing to play with, fellas. And it's taken everything in me to try to get him to understand he needs therapy and that he needs medicine. It's to the point now I'm relying on my faith. I'm putting it in the hands of God, and I'm letting it be there, and I pray daily. But I'm going to be there as a father whenever he needs me, and that time is there. And so I'm still trying to stay connected trying to talk to him. But man, if you know anybody that's dealing with bipolar disease, that's no joke, fellas. It really
But
is.
I struggle from it myself. I'm on medicine. I go to therapy.
Oh.
You know, and it's funny, you know, my defensive mechanism is always a joke and make fun. And that's one thing E said. I mentioned to E one day, yo, man, you know I'm bipolar. He said, yeah, I kind of figured that. he's like,
Yeah. What you saying for that? He told us that.
He's like, yeah, because you crazy.
Yeah.
So you saw it a long time ago.
Man, I saw him before you saw me. So that mile away. I said, yeah, he got.
Hey, listen, around me, I guess because I'm his Philly dog, right? He hid that joint, and I never knew it, man. I never knew it.
See, that's a mile away.
Well, I probably hit it because I ain't have therapy yet. Once I started going to therapy and started dealing with things. But you're right, though. Like, for the most part, we grow up and and we kind of deal with this by ourselves. They always tell us to suck it up. But what happens when you suck it up? You know, then all of a sudden, it's so many health reasons. You could die of a heart attack. Stress could kill you. So, then, or your relationships suffer from it. It's so, with your kids, your family, it's just not good to hold that stuff. And it's good to talk. Even this conversation we're all having right now, hopefully somebody hears it and they'll get the help they need, because I'm a true testament of going through it. And thankfully my wife was the one that kind of pushed me in that direction, and which helped me out. So I'm very thankful for it.
Praise the Lord for a good wife, bro.
Absolutely.
Praise the Lord for a good wife, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
praise the Lord for a good wife.
I'm very thankful for that. And so I understand what you're going through, man. But don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
No. My thoughts is this, man. I'm always going to be there. Even when I call and he don't return a call, or I try to FaceTime and we don't connect, but all of a sudden I'll get a call and we have a great conversation. I know he's not in the episode or dealing with anything, but when sometime I've gone to visit him, my son lives in Richmond now, and he can get spacey on me and feel like he's dealing with other things around him. But you know what, man? He is so daggone intelligent, man. And I almost think that gets in the way of him understanding what he really needs to get well, because he thinks he can self-medicate. A lot of cats believe that and move on. And that's in our community. So if we go back to the original question that Blue asked, yeah, we need some help there in that particular area. And one of the things that I love, any of you guys watch The Chi?
No, I've never seen it.
Man, one of the things that they do on The Chi, they got a black round table where men just speak out their problems. Because let's face it, who do black men talk to? Who do men of color talk to? Blue, what do you think about that?
Let me add something to that. Blue was a question you was asking. Let me give you the quick narrative. So one is that, and you put all together the brothers and the sisters, whether you're African American or Black American. If you now I'm just gonna put everybody together. I'm not gonna separate them. Everybody together. I think education-wise, we're rising up.
I do too.
Education.
Yep.
That there's a lot of brothers now out here these young brothers are out here doing this, going to school, getting these degrees, and not just degrees, but degrees that make sense for infrastructure in our society. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about getting a degree in social science. No, you can pack that up right there. Just go and pack that up. We talking about degrees in medicine, degrees in computer science, degrees, or trying to be a lawyer, this like that. We're rising. We're rising as as a Black society. We're rising. So I'm putting everybody together all in one to say, yes, we're rising up, and it's scaring the hell out of everybody else to see that these cats, if they can only get together and act as one, they'll be the most dangerous race out here. We don't act as one. We're crabs in a barrel.
That's that power. That's that power we're looking for.
But also, what he's not telling you, his brother got 2 master's degrees.
Wow.
He's no dummy.
That's right.
Yes, I do. And the other thing that you guys were talking about, mental health, I'm going to touch on that as well. So being though that I was born here, but I have African descent, it's looked at a little different on our side when we see mental health. It's looked at totally different, because in the Western society, it's kind of like pushed to medicate. In third world countries, they don't look. It's more like either work your way out of it, and it's more of either go ahead and make more money, go to school. If you don't have going to school and making more money, you're useless. And that leads to you going mentally crazy or whatever in the third world countries, from the Africa, from the Asian countries. And that's why you see all these other countries like Asia, from Orientals that will come to this country. And the first thing they focus is what? Education.
Education.
When the Africans come here, the first thing they focus is what? Education. They don't care about nothing else. Get the education, and then the money will come, and then women will come later. So the first thing they do is get the education out the way. That's why they always look at third world countries, always look at the Westerners as weak-minded. Hey, you need medicine to get yourself together? Take your butt and go to school. Go to school, get something, make some money, be okay. That's how they look at you. They don't look at you as we're the same, because they will never look at you as you guys on the same even playing field. Never. They're always going to look at you as they're one step ahead of you, one step above you, because they feel like you are here and you're not taking advantage of the situation of you being here. And that's and that's just how all third world countries, especially from my brothers coming from the African side coming over here, that's how they look at you. They don't look at you that way. They look at you like you're here, all the advantages, and you're not using it. That's why you're going mentally. That's why you're going mental. And that's why we don't look at somebody that's taking some therapies like we look at it as, brother, you're just wasting your money. That same money you could have took your butt and went to school, got yourself a degree, or make you some money, or get yourself a career on a side job. So we look at it a little different. We don't kind of like we miss that, because your elders back home, they're gonna tell you better take your butt and go to school. We ain't trying to hear all that. We don't want to hear nothing mental about you. You something mental about you, go make some money. Come back and talk to us when you get the money, and you be okay. And that's how we look at that situation.
Now, my question, I have a question for you, E. Is that right?
Okay.
Is that right?
Is it right? I see both sides of the coin.
Okay.
I understand it from this side, that yes, we don't have nobody we can talk to, because we were brought into this world to provide, protect by all means. And the only way we can be this high value men is make money.
With Father's Day coming up this weekend, I want to touch a little bit on fatherhood and family structures. And then we want to move from that and come to a closing question. And so we can move from this, and then we're going to move out of that family area into another area that deals with us being together as a people overall. Look, there are many Black fathers that are more involved today than what we say usual generations. So, and with Father's Day coming up, the emphasis always is on absentee fathers, and I touched on that a little bit. So, and I touched on divorce and co-parenting and all that kind of stuff. Are Black fathers getting enough credit? I'm throwing this out to everybody out there. How y'all feel about that? I'm speaking about brothers now, not men of color. Are brothers, are Black men getting enough credit?
Hell no, we're not getting enough credit. And every time when it's Father's Day, there's one vendor.
We don't compare it to the mother.
Yes,
we don't compare
it. You can't get enough vendors. You say, hey, man, come buy something from me now, man. That's 10 vendors I done passed already.
Yeah.
One vendor for Father's Day. Hey, man, that's messed up on Father's Day. How y'all doing us on Father's Day? One, we've improved. I'm going to say this. Black has improved as fathers. Now, you cannot judge us from the past of, well, yeah, deadbeat dad, this and that. That's a whole different conversation. Now, we as single fathers are raising our kids. And it's best to have a single father raising kids than have a single mother raising kids. They already did the statistics on that there's a high percentage of those cats being raised by single moms and are either going to jail or not doing too much, not doing too well in life compared to a single father.
I think there's some ladies, if you're listening to this, I think we want your comments, because I know there are plenty of ladies who have raised kids without the help of fathers, but too often fathers don't receive the credit that they should. They don't.
We're very good, because think about it. The reason why I said what I said, and I'm going to give you a quick example. It sounds better when a teacher goes to your child and says, I'm going to tell your mother. Well, go ahead and tell her. Right. But it's different when the teacher says, I'm going to tell your daddy. Oh, no, don't tell my dad. Don't tell my dad. The fear.
No, that's true.
Put into kids.
That's how
So
it was for me, and
right.
and I'm pretty sure if my kids were on this show, they would tell you pretty much the same thing. Although I will say my kid's mother did not play, so they didn't want to see her either. I want to move.
Yeah, some mothers will do that.
I want to move a little bit out of this. I want to keep this moving.
Okay.
What lessons, Big Game or Blue, did you learn from your father that you would use or that you changed when you started raising your kid?
The thing I learned from my dad was probably how important credit was.
That's a
You
good
know,
one because I did not learn that from my parents.
my dad, he did a lot of wonderful things, but like everyone, as you get older, you realize there's certain things that because you're taught it, I'm my own person now, so I have my own way of doing things. But there are definitely things that he's taught me that I've been able to retain. Like far as my father was a contractor. He was the president of the union in Philly for Local 57. And so I learned from him the importance of hard work, of doing things. Every weekend, he used to go to houses and we buy homes and I would help him fix them up. And I hated it at the time. I couldn't stand it because all my friends was outside playing on the weekends. I'm in these houses, building stuff. But once I got older, started having homes of my own, I really appreciate that knowledge. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, because you got skills.
I got skills and I can make some money. So my dad, if everybody have a love language, my father's love language was that knowledge, putting that stuff in as far as how to take care of yourself, how important it is make your kids a priority. That was another thing my father taught me. Like no matter what's going on, because where I grew up in Philly was a street called Forest Avenue, and everybody's dad wasn't there, but 90% of the fathers it was two-parent households. And the ones who didn't, the fathers were still there, but people break up, but the fathers were still present. It just wasn't living in the house. But I was fortunate enough where most people, like my mother and father were together since my mother passed away. And the same goes for all my friends growing up back then. And we just learned that community. We learned how to take care of ourselves, importance of it. So that's what I took from it.
You know what? As you guys see, and I'm speaking to the audience now, as you see, sometimes these conversations can get pretty heavy that the brothers have. And even though we just talking, we got some real feelings, real things to express on things that we have personally experienced and that we opened up to share with you. Look, I want you to comment below and I want you to make sure that you join us in conversation in the Facebook group and share the particular things that you may have faced, the things that you have come in contact with. I'm gonna throw this out to Blue, and then I'm gonna have one closing question, and then we gotta move on because I want to try to cover a couple other things. So, Blue, tell us that same question for you. What lessons did you learn from your father, or wish you had?
So one thing I learned from my pops is he always told me, do the things that make you uncomfortable to make you comfortable. One of the lessons I got out of it is that sometimes, when people doubt you, when people say what you can't do, and this is something he always told me, when somebody tells you can't do something, that means they are in fear of what they know can do. I use that as motivation. That motivates me so much that I can't stop. I have to continue to go through whatever I'm going through. And that's what got me through college. Because, at one point in time, it was one of my relatives, and it's always that blood. It's always that blood relative or whatever that had to say something negative because at the time I didn't have none of my degrees or nothing like that. And they said, I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can get one. It's hard, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And at the time I was just a young guy just trying to make money. I wasn't really thinking about school that much. I was just trying to make money.
Right.
But because that person made that statement and I kept on, every time I went to class, I kept on revisiting that same statement that motivated me to get through school. And now when I look at that person, and I look it down like, how many degrees you got? Oh, you ain't got that many. Okay, we're not going to even have a conversation with you anymore. But it's just the motivation of when people say what you can't do, or should I say haters.
And that
You need haters in your life. They help you. They help you grow.
Haters often provide inspiration.
Yes.
And the push that sometimes you need to achieve. Look, I've been in a position. Look, I had my haters and I had people who supported me. My haters in my mind pushed me more because I knew what the strength of what I was doing and a particular legacy that I wanted to leave behind for certain things that I was doing. I'm gonna close this off. I want a closing question, and I'm gonna throw this out. And these are one words Okay. In one word, where do you think Black America will be in 10 years? And so pick one word, big game, pick one word, E, and I'll pick one word, and we'll take 30 to 45 seconds to speak on it.
I think
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold up. I'm going to give you the words because I didn't give you the words. Thriving, divided, empowered, struggling, or evolving. Pick one of those words and speak on it for 30 to 45 seconds.
I think empowered.
Okay. I like that.
I think as between the sisters and the brothers in terms of the years to come, we're improving. Now, we have our differences on social life. That's a whole different conversation. But in terms of education, finances, growing, we are growing. We're growing because I'm going to put everybody in the same queue, from your Black American, your African Americans, everybody in the same queue, because at the end of the day, we're one color is Black. And we are going up because we have so many of these adolescents that are going to school, going to college, and they're finishing. They're going to college, they're getting degrees like it's high school diplomas now. So that's impressive. That's something that I do like, that I like to see our young guys going, and our young women doing the same thing. So I think the more, when years keep going by, the only thing we need to do is come together as one unit. If we can do that, I think there's no race that can beat our race. But right now, we are not together in that realm. And that's the only thing that's missing from baking that cake.
Well, I say this, let's not sleep. There's so many things that are going on in America and in the world to pull and keep us apart because of the power they know that lies within our community. And I think it's obvious with the climate that we currently are existing in, whether we're talking about political, the climate that we're living in, with how this world treats faith and someone who's spiritual. Those things are often frowned on. These are the basis and foundation of the people that we are. And I love what you're saying, empowered, because from an education standpoint, we have pushed the envelope. Before I totally answer, I'm going to give it to you, big game. Out of those words, which one would you select and you think we are?
I think we're divided a little too much.
Okay.
My thought
Speak to
process.
Speak to that.
Reason being, this just my opinion. The way the politics are right now, it just, for me, I don't understand how you would go against something against your own best interest. Like, and then we're so divided. Like, people will say, they go, everybody is what he is, but some people are MAGA, and I see people of color who are MAGA, and I still have love for these people.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I can't blame you for having the thoughts, but for me, even if I did decide to vote a different way, if I decide to go a different route, I'm not going to take a jab at the people who helped get me there. You feel me?
Yeah,
I'm always going to make sure that
all day.
I'm always going to do what I can to uplift. Now, we don't have to go the same route all the time, but just know, like family, we have plenty of family members who disagree with our thoughts. That's just the way it is, but you still family.
That's right.
At the end of the day, like, back in the day, like, we could fight, but let you come over here, an outsider come in here and try to jump in this, you're going to get your butt taken.
You better not get it right. That's how,
You know what I'm
how I
saying?
roll with my brothers.
So, and that part I'm still struggling with, because that division, like, I don't understand how certain people, and they're almost like, only reason in my mind that you were trying to be other to take care of your own, what are you getting out of this? What is your soul worth to you that you're willing to sell out your people for a buck or whatever you're trying to get from it, to get a seat at the table? I don't need a seat at the table. Let's make our own table, And my thought process is, like, I'm okay with you celebrating how you want to celebrate. I'm okay with all the parades and everything you want to do, but don't get mad at me or try to hurt my stuff when I try to celebrate. We all can celebrate. So that's my whole thinking. Like, far as the division, I wish we would come together more, and with things that matter, let's stick together, because other groups and other cultures, like my Asian brothers and sisters, you're not in the way in the world getting in between them when they make a decision to work together. Period.
But you got to remember, and I got to put this out there.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that is different for the Black man in America is that the very minute we came to this country, they stripped our language, and I don't want people to think like this is some kind of crutch. But if they're killing you, if you're trying to read, they stringing you up. If you're reading the Bible, for Lord's sake, they're trying to string you up, or you constantly under attack, and they pitting us one against the other, and we don't always see it. So when we don't always see it, people look at it, I got mine, get yours, where it should be, I got mine and let me reach my arm back and pull another brother up with me. And that does not happen. And it doesn't happen because the very minute we stepped on this land, we were broken and destroyed and separated. And if it wasn't for the faith that people gained in this country, the ones gaining the faith of spiritually, that brought them through, because whether we are here or in Africa, we're spiritual people, what we were believing in. So we in America. And so they believe in vast majority is Christianity. That got our people through, but that's the very thing that we've stepped more and more away from, and that they've pitted against us and against each other. And so I can see the division thing. I can see.
Let me chime in real quick. And sorry, fellas.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm having technical difficulties today. It is what it is.
It's all good, though. Go ahead, bro.
Y'all kept it moving, which was great. But to comment on that last, on what you just said, Hog.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that nowadays we have too much freedom. And I say that
I'm with you.
So that you can hear what I'm saying. We have too much freedom because you got to remember, 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we had a community. You know what I'm saying? The people of color, people of color, and I'm gonna keep saying people of color only because it's expanding. Now I'm not negating my Black culture. I'm not, at no point am I negating that. But we've lost our community base. We've been given too much freedom, and once you give a certain group of people too much freedom, they're gonna run with it. So that community, that love that we once had, I'm not gonna say it's completely gone, but it's gonna take more time for us to build that back up again, because everybody's like, yo, why you telling me this when I could do this on my own? How you gonna tell me this when I could do it on my own? I don't need you, I don't need that, but you do. Because when it all boils down, we need each other, because if they keep attacking us, and in U.S., we see it on a day-to-day basis. They keep attacking us. And then on top of that, our mentality, we've gotten to a state where certain conditionings is how it's supposed to be. And that's not how it's supposed to be. But they'll condition you to a point where, yo, you're supposed to do that. And that's how this is supposed to be. And people have gotten too used to it, and they think that that's the way of life, and it's not. And that's the sad part about it. We need the community, and we need people of color to get back to our foundation, man. You know what I'm saying? It boils down. It needs to get back to the foundation.
I think that's a great point that you're making, and it leads to a perfect segue that I want to go into our next topic. Because of that, we've gotten away from family. And that's basically what you're saying, Blue. We've gotten away from that connectedness of family. Now, with the institution of marriage, which was the basis for our families, especially here in this country, things are changing. I'm going to throw this to E. E, I want you to kind of handle this topic and throw it out there, because I know you got some views as far as marriage and what it is. Speak to it for a couple minutes, man, or lead us in a discussion, or as it relates to that.
So growing up, marriage used to be the ultimate goal. At least that was what we were taught. Now we got a lot of single people out here. We have the social media that's not even helping the situation with people getting into marriages. And now with what's going on with feminism and the individuality of I don't need a man and this and that and the other, it makes it hard for us brothers that want to get into this marriage, but we see the backside of it is it's a contract of should I lose my stuff or should I keep my stuff? That's what it is. And
E, only you could come up with that. Hold up, E, only you could come up with a contract and stuff. You was cool in the beginning when you was saying it was a contract, because it is a contract before God. It is a contract. But then when you say it's a contract of, am I going to lose my stuff or am I going to keep my stuff?
We get on these contracts. It don't help us out. You make all damn money, and guess what happened? She gonna look at you, look at your bank account, and be like, "Shit, well, let me
My
go
God. Oh my
work here."
God. Only
Fast.
you, E. Only you.
That's funny.
That's right. It's the contract. It don't help
that's
us. It
that's
hurts
funny.
us. Help us.
That is not just funny, Big Game and Blue. That joint is hilarious, man. He said, "It's a contract. Do I keep my stuff or do I lose my stuff?"
The
That's
comments,
funny.
the comments and
That's
views
all
of
it
the
is.
individuals
Individual
do not
are not
reflect,
do not reflect the views
brothers
of every
just
one
talking.
of the brothers that's talking. That's right.
This is all my fellas that are out there. If you feel different, please leave a comment and
Please,
tell me that
please.
I'm right.
And
It's a contract for you
You
to
hurt.
lose your money.
yeah,
That's all
You
it is.
hurt. You hurt. You hurt. You hurt.
You know,
You was
it's funny you
scarred
say
like a
that.
you know
mug.
what? That sound like that sound like pain, don't it? That sound like there's a little bit of pain there and some stuff that he might look, we all done went through it. I done went through some stuff, man. Look, my boy told me I was like a bear crying in the woods. Okay.
You
So
hurt, man. You hurt.
so E, you probably that bear too. You probably that bear in the woods, babe.
Hey, that's all it is. You
Well,
go in it and you praying to God, hey man, what am I getting into here? Am I gonna lose my money? Am I gonna gain some money? It's a lose-lose situation for the guy. It ain't no win-win. It's always a lose-lose. You're gonna lose. She think court
E,
gonna punish you.
But E, what about the abusive? What about the abusive brothers to the women, man? What about
there
them?
you go. Yeah, what about them who not treating the women right?
What about the
we
abusiveness, big brother? Whether it be physical or mental. Comment on that one, brother, because I want you. I want you to make this good. I want you to make this good because I want you to bring this back around.
I'm gonna cross both sides of the river.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna
All right.
both sides of that river. Now, I don't condone 100% of a man putting his hands on a woman. I don't condone it. I think a man that puts his hands on a woman ain't nothing but a bitch.
He less
I
than a
Okay.
man.
I stamp that. I stamp that.
He's less than
number
a
one
man.
in
Yes.
my book.
He's less than
Something
a
that
man.
my dad taught me that, hey man, whatever you do, don't you put your hands on no woman because the system is not meant for you.
I was taught the same thing. Don't put your hand on a
So
woman.
I respected the man's wishes and I never did. No matter how irate she'll get, no matter how, women got that mouth. They got that mouthpiece. The first thing I'll do is walk away, get my car keys, get my boots, and I'm gone. And you won't see me no more. So for the guys that put their hands on the women, which they could have walked away from, straight bitches. Beta, not alphas. And whatever happens to them in terms of the court system, they deserve it. They deserve it. Brother, walk away. It's more of them and less of us. It's 10-1. What you doing?
Yeah.
Walk away.
Yeah.
Go. Leave. You're gonna be okay. I tell my son that all the time. I said, bro, whatever you do, don't you put your hands on no woman. You better walk away from her. And you ain't gotta worry about it because get your bread up. Once you get your bread up and you got your own place and you good, don't come. Don't put your hands on no woman. Now I'm going to the other side of the river. Men get abused too. Just because it ain't physical don't mean he ain't getting abused because mental abuse is worse than physical abuse.
Agreed. I stamped that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she can be saying you ain't this, you ain't that, and she's not talking to the king in you. She's talking to the peasant in you. So telling you how talking to you in a degrading way, how is that supposed to help this man and his confidence, especially if he doesn't have any confidence? You're just killing.
So E, bring this back home for me into how is all of this playing into marriage? And I need you to do it quickly because we got some things we need to move on into.
So how this plays into marriage is simple. Young guys, all you youngins, all you young guys out there, I'm talking to all my young black men.
I was expecting you to say something real crazy, please. You done had enough profanity for the night. So I thought you was going to say something crazy. Go ahead.
Wait till you hit 45 and up. Late 40s and up, and then you've established what you're going to be in life in terms of finances. Once your finances together, once your pockets are right, then you can go ahead and get into that marriage if you want to do the marriage thing. But as a young man where you're in your 20s and you're working your way up, don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you get into no marriage. She say marriage run.
Okay, E, we're going to let this one lay right here. Obviously, people and everybody out there, We're going to come back to this at a later time because the topic is that hot, especially as far as E is concerned, is smoking. He said he was going to be cooking. I don't know if he burned up some things in the kitchen because he was cooking, but he may have burned up a couple things too. It's up to you to let us know whether he did or in our Facebook conversations, in your comments that you leave us on YouTube. Let us know what you think and how you feel. I got to throw this out the big game, this next hot topic. We had something go down this week on the White House lawn, big game. Talk to us about it.
Are you talking about that dude, that UFC fighter, Josh Hokit, I think his name is?
Yeah.
Like him crossing the line and said what he said about Michelle Obama. I don't dig that at all. And that's what just happened. You know, I had a lot of emotions when I heard it because the thing that bothers me is why is it okay to say that about our people, our women? You feel me? Like, and why is everybody okay? I'm not okay with it. And let me just say this: I'm not okay with it as a white woman, Hispanic woman, Asian woman. Why is it okay for a man to say those things about a woman and publicly? So I kind of feel he crossed the line with that. And then I listened. I'm looking at other things. They were saying like, because she's a public figure, if she tries to sue, far as defamation, far as it being free speech. But I still don't think at some point within you gotta have enough respect for yourself not to say something like that. And hopefully they go after this person or do whatever they need to do to squash it. Now I heard she's kind of clapped back when they did the ceremony for the presidential, I forgot what it's called. Museum, yes.
Library/museum.
Right. So I think she clapped back a little bit in a classful way, but I just don't, I feel very uncomfortable that everyone, and then they said, well, this person said that about that person, so I don't feel it's right no matter what. We need to protect our people, respect our women, protect them. It's our responsibility.
I'm going to go one step further. We need to protect our women, our people, our Black sisters, our sisters.
I feel you.
Because when you see situations, if we look at the latter, our sisters are the one who are trashed more than any other. They trash them harder, especially when it comes from a Caucasian male in many instances. I want to throw it to you, Blue, because I got something that I really want to let out how I feel about this. So I'm throwing it to you right now, bruh, and give me and E, both of you, because E, I know you. E, you got some feelings on things. I'm pretty sure you got some feelings on this too. So, brothers, go ahead. The floor is yours.
I mean, me and my man, we was talking about this, and I see it as a facade. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree with what y'all saying. We need to stand up for our peoples, especially our sisters, because our sisters, I mean, they're more than just our backbone. They're our supporters. They're our confidants. They're our everything. But this is another ploy just to shift the mindset of America. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. And don't get me wrong, once again, he felt the need to say that, but it's just words. At the end of the day, it's just words. You're going to keep living. Michelle is going to keep living. Mr. Obama, they're going to keep living. It's just words. Until he put hands on her or any type of threat comes to their family, it's nothing but words, man. You know what I'm saying? Sticks and stones may break my bones, whatever. But words will never hurt me. That's all this is, man. And every Caucasian man, we've seen this through history. They do this. This is just their thing, man. It's a narcissistic type thing, man. So I agree.
It don't mean we gotta accept it. And
it ain't about accepting it, because Harv, if you talk the way Harv, you talking the way you talking, big brother, he's got to answer to the Father. You see what I'm saying? You taking this worldly. You taking this worldly. He's got to talk to. He's got to. That's the Father's deal.
I agree with that.
But I agree. We need to stick up. I agree. We need to stand up.
I still got some strong feelings on it. Go ahead.
So
go for it.
I have a different. So, and this is
like you always got a different.
This is
go ahead, Ace. Go ahead.
This is Josh Lockett. When you see this, and I want to say, bro, that one, I'm gonna give him this. He is a phenomenal fighter. The man can fight. I've seen his fights in UFC. He's 10-0. The last fight he fought with Derek Lewis, and he beat Derek Lewis. He beat Derek Lewis's ass, and I was kind of shocked he beat Derek Lewis. And his signature fighting skill is he gives you the middle finger and he starts striking. Middle finger and he strikes. My problem with you, Josh, You were looking good, bro. You were looking good, and you had to say something about the ex-first lady. You had fans, bro. We were following you. Let me tell you how bad it was. It was so bad when he made that statement that he gave the commander-in-chief a chain, his chain. Commander-in-chief wore that chain, and after the fight, when he made the statement, the commander-in-chief was seen taking the chain off his neck as soon as the statement was made and put it down. And
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I really thought he didn't do anything. So I'm glad to
he
hear
did.
that. I'm glad to hear that.
He took the chain
You
off
should
his
do
neck.
more, but I'm glad to hear that.
Well, that was good. And think about it. You chose to do this during the midterms, political midterms. You chose to say this in a time where all the politicians are trying to bring everybody back together so they can get those loose votes. And you're going to say this now? No, you messed up, bro. You lost fans. You was going to walk away with a whole bunch of fans because of your strategy and how you fight. You lost fans because now only thing we can think of it when you say that name. Oh, that's the one that was made that statement about Miss Obama. We don't know about your fight no more. Your fight, we don't even know about it. The only people that know about your fight are people that are into the UFC fight like I am. I like the UFC fighting. That's why I know about him. Other than that, I'm just going to know him by the guy that made the negative statement about our sister. Bro, you messed up. What you need to do, make a public apology, and we might come back. You have to make a public apology.
Well, I agree a public apology should be out there. I agree with everything that's said across the board. And Blue, I see exactly where you coming from, bro. Because yeah, all across history, they have been doing dumb stuff like this. But I want to throw something out there to y'all, and I want you to think on this for a second. Think on this. NASCAR. What's NASCAR? Non-athletic sports centered around rednecks. That's what the acronym stands for. Okay. Now,
Whoa.
let me keep going. Let me cook. Okay. The UFC is now taking on that same vibe. When they are at them races, now I actually love NASCAR. Okay. I love seeing the races, but I've been to an event one time. I was 19 in North Carolina. And the negative things that come out their mouth about everybody that's not white is unbelievable.
You're right. You're right. Agree. You're right.
And the UFC fighting is now taking on that same vibe. And that vibe exists largely in part to our president creating this atmosphere for it. So now they're thriving. They're thriving so much he put the junk on the White House lawn. What kind of mess is that? So now I'm painting the whole picture. So now we on the White House lawn. And Hokit, I agree with what he said. I don't follow UFC closely. For me, it's too barbaric, and I love boxing, but it's a little bit over the top for me. But I keep up with it because I keep up with sports. So I know a little bit about the dude Hokit and how well he has been fighting. But I also notice about him, and at these events, he called Brittany Griner a man. Okay, in the WNBA, he said that about her. And he does a lot of this stuff for kicks and almost like you would do likes on Facebook or something. But he also get it to turn heads, almost like wrestlers say crazy stuff so people can watch them. Now, you said people are only going to know him for this comment about Michelle, but he's using it as a stepping board to say, you're either going to come see me because you like me or you're either going to come see me because you hate me. So he's taking the opportunity to use us, use her, and I'm not having it for you coming at the first lady. This is one of the most intelligent, most educated first ladies we've ever had. Probably is. Okay. The only reason why she didn't take over and doing her own thing is because she was supporting her husband, who was a senator and president. She's got a degree from Princeton, got a law degree from Harvard, and then you're going to come out. And then look, and this is not the first time. I got to bring this in there too. When I was at the Metropolitan Police Department, during Obama's first year, he caught so many death threats that didn't even go out there to the media. It was that many that was coming. But we had a guy who I'm gonna leave unnamed on the police department who threatened her life himself. Said on his Facebook page he was gonna do XYZ. This individual, all they did, they didn't fire him. They moved him to another district, put him on administrative leave for like 30 days, and they brought him back. How do I know about this? Because in my term serving as president there, I used that case to help me win another case about somebody who threatened to hurt somebody in a way that they might kill them. But I got the person off because I was able to use that case. Now, one more case for her. Y'all remember when they were calling her a monkey? Do y'all remember that?
Mhm.
See, so it's only, I understand what you're saying, Blue, about words, but words can lead people to go over the edge. Now, if, we know when people just talking junk, but some people ain't just talking junk. They talking junk and they might take it to the next level. A dude like Hokit can demean her so much that the next guy feel bold enough to threaten them when they see them in public. It's, Michelle Obama. You see what I'm saying? So words, yeah, I'm down with the sticks and stone, break my bones thing. As a matter of fact, I taught that to my children. But when we get in this level where we at now, and Big Game was just talking about how dangerous or how divided we are, I think this cannot be tolerated. I think Dana White, who should find this dude, he did disavow himself from it. He said he was for free speech, but he not down with talking nasty about people. But I think you need to go to the next level. And I'm with E. He needs to do a public apology. But even that is not going to resolve it for me. I'll accept the apology, but I certainly am not going to forget this and just total disrespect. And then how come the president didn't say anything? Now, go ahead, Ace.
I think they need to hit his pockets.
Yeah, that's why I said fine.
That's why I said fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That seemed to be the deciding factor. If you really feel that way, stand on it. Lose your money and stand on it.
Stand on it, sucker.
Because as soon as they start taking your money, you're gonna start crying like a little girl. So hit the pockets. Hit the pockets.
That's and my other thing is, okay, the president of the United States, this is somebody who's in your quote unquote same fraternity you are, okay, of being a president and having a first lady. You ain't even comment on it. Now, I didn't know, E, what you pointed out to me, so I was glad to hear that he took the chain off that the dude gave him. But he could make a bigger statement by saying that's totally unacceptable and will not be tolerated in front of me again. Something to that effect. I can't put words in his mouth. He can speak well enough for himself. But I just think we're reaching a point that this was beyond free speech, and I think it moved into the area of defamation, man. So I want to throw this out to everybody out there. Give us what you feel about this particular incident. If somebody spreads false information, should they be held financially responsible? Like this goon? And this was a goon. Tell us what you think. Share it with us. Give us your thoughts, okay? Let's move on to something lighter, fellas, because it's gotten a little heavy here with the brothers today. Let's hit our round of who you got. And the first one I'm throwing out to y'all, who you got? 2026 Knicks champions or the 1996 Bulls? Who you got? Somebody step up. Okay.
Chicago all day long.
Okay.
All day.
I gotta go with Chicago.
And as
easy.
much as I don't like the Knicks, I'm going with Chicago too. New Yorkers, y'all thought I was gonna side with y'all. Nah, can't do that.
That's a sweep. That's the sweep.
All right, let's hit another quickie on who you got. This is the classic who you got right here. Jay-Z versus Nas. Blue, you kick this off. Who you got? And I want you to consider hit these 3 points, because I only got you got 30 seconds to bust each one of these. Better lyrics, better albums, better legacy. Go.
This is a hard one, fellas. I mean, this is a hard one. I can't answer this. This is a hard one because
ain't no treading the fence.
on this one,
give us an answer.
I can't. I can't give you an answer on this one because hands down, you know who I roll with. But
I know who you roll with. Yes, that's why I want you to answer. That's why I want you to answer.
When you pit these two up against each other,
yes,
it's a draw for me. It's a draw.
It's a draw. Okay,
it's a draw.
I'm gonna let you slide with that. Look, that's the lightweight out, man. You took the lightweight out. All right, E. Come on, E. Bring something to the mic, E. Bring it.
All
Bring
right.
it strong. Bring it strong, E.
This is simple. Nas, come on, man. Stop playing. No, Nas, that man. Nas killed that man. That man didn't want to see no Nas. He wasn't Nas. Nas is lyrical. He's lyrical. He killed that. In the beef they had, Jay-Z didn't want that smoke. He want no smoke.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
Yo, all we got to do is look at Ether, okay?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Destroy that.
Big game. Big game. What you got, baby?
All right, so better lyricists, I'm gonna go with Nas.
Yup, that's me. That's
Better
where I'm at.
albums, I'm gonna go with Nas, even though Jay-Z has some bangers. But better legacy, I'm gonna have to go with Jay-Z.
All right. And for me, closing this up, I'm going to agree with you on the better lyrics for Nas. Better albums, more consistent. I got to go with Jay. Jay's
Okay.
been more consistent over time. And better legacy counts everything you've done, even outside the studio. Jay's a billionaire now, man. You can't knock that. So 2-1 Jay-Z, but my heart says Nas. I'm a bigger Nas fan than I am Jay-Z, but if I'm answering these three questions about whether better albums, better legacy, 2-1 Jay-Z. James,
Well, then that's 2-1. 2-1 it'll be Nas for me as well.
Yup. I'm gonna throw it back to you, James. I know you had a little something you wanted to speak on as far as a watch that we got going on right now. What's this particular? What's this watch we got going on?
It's the C-Note watch, man.
The C-Note watch.
It's the C-Note watch. My question to my boy E is Harvey going to charge you interest?
Nah, man, I ain't doing that, man. I ain't that type of dude. I ain't that type of dude. Just cash a brother off and do what you're supposed to do. And yo, you'll get your chances now messing with me.
But are you going to see that money like you see the little kid that falls in the well that disappears? Are we ever going to see it again?
That was a case of him inserting foot in mouth. Y'all know that. He know that. He know that. Okay? I ain't even got to keep banging the thing over the head. I'm laying low. You see, I ain't really mentioning the jaw.
I know I get him all the time. So all this he's saying right here is going to he knows I get him back real good. Beep.
Well, you won't get a chance to be beat until you CC. Okay? When you see the note, you might get a chance to be beat. Okay?
Touche.
Okay. Listen, we're going to get ready to close this thing out. We're coming down the stretch now. So rapid fire. Everyone gets 5 seconds. Okay? And so when I throw this to you, you get 5 seconds to answer. And then we're going to go with an explanation after everybody gives their answer. Okay. Starting with you, Blue. Kobe or LeBron. Okay? Big game.
I'm going Kobe.
Okay? And E.
Kobe all day long. All day long.
If I got to look at who's the better player, all-around player, I got to go LeBron. Next.
Okay.
Jordan or Magic? Let's go. Quick. Jordan or
going
Magic.
the same way, right? So go
Same way. Blue. Jordan or Magic. Okay.
Jordan.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Magic.
You going what? So you stopped the sweep. I was just getting ready to say, E, that's what a sweep looked like. So you took that, okay. Stevie Wonder or Marvin Gaye? This is a good one.
Ooh.
Blue,
Stevie.
you up first.
Stevie.
Okay. Big game.
Song's the key in life. Gotta go with Stevie.
Okay. And E,
Gay.
you got to represent DC. I ain't mad at you.
Gay, baby.
Now, for me, Stevie Wonder. Philly cheesesteak or New York chopped cheese? It's kind of messed up we don't have a New York dude on here who could give us the chopped cheese. My New York people that's out there, I know y'all been trying to scream about the chopped cheese, so we'll get to that. Go. Have you had a chopped cheese, Blue?
Yeah, I mean, to me, they both the same, man. I mean, you just go wherever you at, it's the same. It's the same.
Don't say that in Philly.
Don't say that in Philly. Definitely don't say that in Philly.
But when you in Philly, you don't ask for a Philly cheesesteak. You just say, give me a cheesesteak.
That's right, because you in Philly. That's right.
Exactly. I'm in New York. I'm like, yo, man, just give me a steak joint.
Next, no explanations. Next, we up to you, big game. What you got, baby?
Cheesesteak.
Okay. And E?
Philly cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak here too. 3-1 cheesesteak. Texting or calling? Blue, what's up, baby? Texting or calling? Okay. Big game.
Calling.
E.
Calling.
Okay, we got a sweep. Calling. And that might be because all four of us are of a
Fans.
certain age, and we like that realness of a call, not the fakeness of Texan. Ooh, Knicks championship or Eagles Super Bowl? Blue.
Hey man, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna probably recuse myself from this one because I'm too pushed in one area. Big game, probably same thing for you.
Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah, you just straight up homer, straight up homer, straight up homer. I get it, but straight up homer. E's probably got the best objective look on this one.
He gonna
E.
pick the Knicks. He gonna pick the Knicks.
I'm gonna say this now. Which Super Bowl you talking about, y'all? First or the second?
Man, that's a
Let's
good
go with the
one.
first.
We're gonna go with the first because it
You
was
go
a
with the
long
first.
gap. It was a long gap, just like the Knicks had a long gap.
All right. So we're gonna go. If you're going with the first, Knicks.
Okay, you going
Knicks.
Knicks? All right.
Knicks stronger.
Now,
The first, it was so much that, and I know I'm gonna get killed for this. What I'm about to say, I know I'm gonna get killed for what I'm gonna say. But Belichick lost the game. Y'all didn't win. Belichick lost the game. That's the reason why y'all won.
Okay, we're not gonna go into that. That's another show. That's another show. I got a couple more. I got to go on.
No,
Okay, Prince's guitar solo or Michael Jackson's moonwalk.
Prince, baby.
Okay, next
Prince.
and
MJ?
E.
Michael Jackson.
And for me, it's Prince's solo. Although I almost feel like wussing out like Blue did earlier with Nas and Jay-Z. Matter of fact, I'm a wuss out on this one. Okay, and I'm a Prince dude. Okay, but that moonwalk was so phenomenal when it happened. One more, and then we will talk about it for another 30 seconds. Summer or winter? Blue.
Winter.
Summer.
E.
Winter.
He gotta be backwards, man. Summer. Everybody loves the sunshine. What is wrong with this dude?
I don't like the sunshine.
We see.
This
We see. All right. Let's take a couple minutes to dive into why we made our selections. Okay. Kobe and LeBron was 3-1 Kobe. Why y'all feel Kobe over LeBron?
Hey, real quick. Are you trying to say that the light-skinned brothers like outside in the heat more than the dark-skinned brothers?
No.
Is that what you're implementing?
No. I like the heat myself. Okay.
I'm talking about E.
Oh, he's on E. Okay.
The winter I like the winter because in the summer it's so goddamn hot. I call it after 6. You can't do nothing until after 6.
What?
You ain't going up there no out there after 6.
E, I know the joint got you fired up, man, but try to keep it profane, man. We might have some youngins tuning in because I'm trying to teach some people. Okay, all right. It's all good. It's all good, baby. It's all good. Kobe or LeBron? Okay, so summer or winter? You made it known. Kobe or LeBron? Why you took Kobe? I guess I'm the one that got to speak on this. I took LeBron because LeBron is the better all around player. Okay, if I was
You smoking that same stuff E smoking.
Nah, listen, I'm gonna tell you why. I hear you though. I hear you. And look, and Kobe my homeboy, but I'm gonna tell you why. Because Kobe is an imitation of Michael. Okay? He is Michael. He did everything he could to become Michael and fell just short. LeBron is a Magic, but he went above the Magic from the not championships, but from the standpoint of being able to score. You cannot knock LeBron. LeBron is 40,000, 10,000, 10,000. That might not ever be done again. And if as a former player who played, I would rather play with LeBron because I know he's going to give me the rock. That's just how I felt about that. Next up, Jordan or Magic. I think we swept that. Oh, no. You got to speak on this one, the funky one. Why you take Magic over Mike?
You know what?
You did. Yeah, you did.
Don't get
solid.
Don't
get solid over there. You did.
I'm going to tell you why, because I disliked Magic back in the day because the Sixers should have won, and because when Kareem went down, when Kareem went down, we just swore we had that championship.
Yeah, we did. I'm with you.
And then all of a sudden, this Joker Magic comes had like the biggest game of his life. He's a rookie.
He was a rookie.
So,
Right.
but that being said, I gotta have respect for that. That's why I picked Magic.
That's why you picked him. Okay. Stevie and Marvin. We had one person take Marvin. Speak your piece. Why you take Marvin over Stevie? We don't have to say why we took Stevie. His body of work is incredible. But tell us why you took Marvin over Stevie, E.
Well, Marvin's a homer. You know what I'm saying? So,
so this was a home move. This was
right?
this is a home move. Okay. But then
Big hit that till today, that hit still hits in the radio and stuff like that, you know.
okay, all right. So it ain't about substance. It's about I'm repping my boy. That's how we felt about the cheesesteaks. So I'm going to move on that. I'm going to move past that. Texting or calling, that was a sweet. And we hit on the Knicks championship with the Super Bowl. All right. We got some questions, y'all, for our listeners. And we've spoke on a myriad of things today. And we coming down the home stretch, okay? We certainly love you. We appreciate you. We ask that you go out to YouTube and Amazon, Spotify, that you comment, you like, and you share and subscribe, okay? And we want you to participate in the conversations in the Brothers Just Talking Facebook group. It's all there for you. Let's have a good time and continue these conversations. I got some questions that I want you to think on. Who's winning the finals next year? In my opinion, it ain't going to be New York. Is marriage still the goal? Think about that. Which music decade are you choosing to be your forever music decade? And what's the funniest thing that happened to you this year? And the last thing, I hate, you know what? I'm going to let the funky one put this out
and
there.
most importantly, the most important question that's got to be asked, and make sure you go to our Facebook group, Brothers Just Talking, on our Facebook page, and please leave your comments. Should Harv C ever expect to see that C note? Will he ever see the C note?
That's rough, man. That's rough. That's real rough.
Comment.
That's real.
Join the conversation on the Facebook group, Brothers Just Talking. Let us know, because we were wondering. We're sitting here, you know, on our on pins and needles. Does the C note even exist?
What is a C note? Some people claim they don't even know what a C note is.
What is a C note? Not
What
a
is
B
a C
note,
note?
not a D note. The C note.
And y'all tell us
from a music, not from a keyboard, not the C from the keyboard. The C note. What does it?
And y'all tell
it's
us.
Like, no, it's almost like what's that dude? The Loch Ness Monster. Are we ever going to see the C note?
Boy, oh boy.
I would like to add, for all the fans out there, I need you to flood the comments to the funky one. And, yeah, he wants to resurrect a Philadelphia situation of Villanova in which they had nothing to do with the New York Knicks doing what they did. That was all those three individuals and nothing about Philly. In terms of Mikal Bridges, you drafted him and you sold him the same day, the same night. He didn't even see nothing. Nothing came of it. You drafted the man and he got traded the same night. So it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
This sounds like an Epstein file distraction.
This sounds like an episode. It sounds like an episode.
It sounds like an Epstein file distraction.
And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
It sounds like an Epstein file distraction.
He's doing a little distraction thing.
Hold on.
Still ain't answered the C-No joint.
We're not going to give the Charlotte Hornets.
I think Amika's name is in the C note. I think his name is in the C note. He don't want you to see it. He don't want you to see the C note. His name is all through the C note.
Hey, E. Okay, E. You know me, I'm about the facts. I got to correct you, man. You're right about Mikal Bridges being traded out. And so from that standpoint, he don't have nothing to do with Philly. That dude grew up in Overbrook. He went to Overbrook High School for 2 years in Philadelphia before his mom wanted to get him out of the hood and send him to school in the suburbs right outside of Philly. So he is from Philly. Just got to correct you, man, when you out there, okay? And as far as Jalen Brunson is concerned, yup, he from Chicago, but his last year he did in Camden because he went to live with his father, okay? So boom, that's Camden and Philly is just like Newark and New York, right across the bridge, man. So and then they go to Villanova, which is a straight up, it's just schools in Philly. There's something called the Big Five: Villanova, Temple, St. Joe, LaSalle, and Penn. They're called the Big Five. All 5 schools from Philly, okay? Yeah, they all from Philly, okay? But Villanova is right across, it is across the city line. It is in Radnor, but that's like going from Hyattsville to D.C., okay? So Lynn Bryce never said he was from Hyattsville. Limbias always said he's from DC. Listen, it's been another spirited session of the fellas kicking it, of the brothers just talking. I'm gonna kick it out to you, James. Get us going on our way out.
If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, like, and share, and tell a friend.
Join the Brothers Just Talking Facebook group, and let's keep this conversation going. E, you always got something to say. Don't you got something to say, E? Keep the conversation going.
But we're always going to keep it real
After all,
We're brothers just talking.
You've been listening to Brothers Just Talking. Hosted by Harvey, James, Emeka, and Sebastian B. Blue. Produced by Sound Fader Studios. Executive producer and audio engineer Sonar the Funky One. Theme music by Shattered Aspirations. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, leave us a review, and join the conversation in our Facebook group. Want to be a guest on the show? Email us and tell us why your story needs to be heard. Until next time, keep talking, keep laughing, and keep it real. Peace.